here. Hi, my name is Allison Groves, and I have the absolute privilege of taking care of our community here at Zapier. And today, really excited to chat with the folks over at Eventbrite who are going to help, hopefully, and will share some awesome tips and tricks with us about how we can sort of take all this great data that you get when you throw an event and automate it so you can worry about the logistics and all these other things that you need to worry about for your event, and let us sort of help you take care of other things in the background. So, hi Mike, how's it going today?
Hey Allison, hey everyone. Thanks for having me on today. We're definitely really excited to be here. My name is Mike Schiff, and I'm on the product marketing team here at Eventbrite. And I'm really focused on our partnerships and our integrations with great companies like Zapier. So really looking forward to talking to you about some of those integrations and giving you, like Allison said, some tips and tricks and use cases on how some of our existing event organizers are using them.
Yeah, I know this is so useful for folks. I know that many people who throw events have so many things going on, so many things they need to do, and whatever we can do to help automate or streamline some of those processes to give you more time back to take care of your actual event, we hope that we can do that. So just one little housekeeping thing here before we get going. If you scroll down the page you're on just a bit, you'll see a chat box there. And my buddy Andrew, who works with me at Zapier, is there. He's ready to answer any questions you're having. So Mike and I are just going to kind of go through things here. And if anything pops in your head, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat room. And Andrew will take care of those. And we'll even stick around after the session's over and make sure that we get all those questions answered for as long as we need to. So with all of that out of the way, Mike, the first thing that I want to talk about is, I think, like probably one of the most basic yet most needed ways you can automate data between two different tools at Eventbrite, and that is using that to sort of using your Eventbrite data to send over to a spreadsheet, to catalog, to keep track of, to back up, whatever that might be, these events that you are throwing with Eventbrite. And I'd love to hear how you guys see people doing that, and maybe some best practices as far as using spreadsheets or anything like that to keep up with your Eventbrite data.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, just to kind of give a background, we ticket or provide registration for hundreds of thousands of events every year across all different types. And every event organizer is different. Every event is different. We see major music festivals and big Grand Prix, but we also see, weekly classes or pop-up dinners. So we really see the full spectrum of events. But one thing that's shared across all these events is the need to automate their data. Like everyone in this world, time is of the essence. And being able to automate the simple tasks that you're going to do over and over again to plan your event will really help you, so you can spend time on the more meaningful things that you want to do with your event, like maybe booking some really amazing entertainment, or picking out your venue or something. So you're not having to spend like hours at a time importing and exporting between things, but you can really spend your time doing something more beneficial that your attendees are actually going to see in the end, and really make your event stand out. So I mean, the first use case we're going to talk about today is about spreadsheets. And it's kind of funny because spreadsheets and events go back, I think, from the history of time. I think people first started creating events with spreadsheets. When Eventbrite first started, our biggest competitor was actually Microsoft Excel. And in a lot of cases, actually, when we go into different event organizers, that's still our biggest competition, is people love to keep track of their attendees through spreadsheets. It's just something that's happened over time. We've provided a lot more features, so people don't have to use spreadsheets as much, but there's still the time and the place that spreadsheets are necessary. And we want to be able to give the ability to actually let organizers create dynamic spreadsheets with all their attendees. One of the first, really popular use cases for using a spreadsheet is when you're sharing your attendee information with a third party or someone else that doesn't have access to all your event data. So for example, you're looking into, or you've booked a venue for your event, and you need to provide the venue with a list of your attendees, for a head count, for security reasons. You can just quickly send them a really up-to-date spreadsheet instantly, and they can just see that list of attendees. Also, you may want to have additional information on that spreadsheet. Maybe you're providing some food at your event, and Eventbrite gives you the ability to ask custom questions through the registration process. And you've asked, are there any dietary restrictions for your attendees? You want to be able to actually share that information with your caterer, so they know oh, there's a lot of people with peanut allergies, better stay away from the peanuts. And so you can share that spreadsheet with your with third parties. Another great way that's a reason to use spreadsheets is that people just love to have a hard copy or a physical list of attendees at events. We do have a mobile app that you can bring up your attendee list, but there's still, you never know with internet connections. Maybe you're doing your event in a park and there's just no internet, really bad service for your mobile phone. So you just want to have a hard copy of your attendee list. You see this all the time with races. You'll see a lot of stations set up where people are checking people in, and you want to have a printed spreadsheet of all your attendees and their names, additional information like email. So there's still a lot of reasons to use spreadsheets today with your attendees and having all your information on one place where you can filter it and sort it. So yes, we definitely see a lot of use cases for it still.
I can't imagine anyone just solely using a spreadsheet to do everything with an event. So it's really, so Eventbrite, it seems like, came around at the right time to do that, all those extra things. So
yeah,
you weren't just using a spreadsheet. You could put on a whole event with it. And so this the spreadsheet acts as the complement to the event, which it always should, and not the overall planner of the event itself.
Yeah, we hope.
So that's some really great groundwork to kind of show off how we might set that up. So I'm going to share my screen here again, and we will just kind of go through a little bit of how you might actually set that up within Zapier. So what we hope, and connecting to Eventbrite, is we can sort of do all of that heavy lifting for you. And like Mike said, anytime anyone registers for an event, anything like that, you might, or whatever that information might be, whether it's those dietary restrictions, whether it's just having sort of like this backup copy of data, Zapier can handle all of that for you in the background. So all you need to do is use, Eventbrite to set up the event. And then once you have that done and we set up a couple of these automations, you don't have to worry about anything at all. You can just worry about, all the other things that you need to deal with your event. And these tedious tasks, you don't have to deal with it all. Just let Zapier handle that for you. So what that looks like on the Zapier side of things is making that connection between Eventbrite and what we're looking at here would be Google Sheets. So Google Sheets would be the easiest way to really document and keep a spreadsheet going of any particular event that you might be putting on. So what we're saying here when we set up this particular automation is anytime I get a new attendee, I actually want that to automatically create a spreadsheet row on my Google Sheet. So very, very simple. And again, anytime that attendee registers, it's going to automatically create that row, so you don't have to do any exporting, importing, whatever. It's just going to automatically happen in the background. And there's just a couple of things that you need to do for this particular automation, because Google Sheets actually has one extra little step that you need to go through before we can fully automate things. And that is actually setting up the spreadsheet itself. So before you go into the automation, you'll want to actually set up a spreadsheet with two things in mind. One, with the information that you actually want to collect from Eventbrite. So that's anything that would be important for your specific event that you would be capturing in Eventbrite. So you want to make a note of that in the spreadsheet. So in this example, I've just gone extraordinarily simple, and I'm just saying I want to grab a name and an email address from Eventbrite. And then the second thing here is you actually want to add a sample row of data, and I'll show you why you would want to do that here in a second. But so before you can even set this up, just keep that in mind. You want to set up the spreadsheet, and you just want to think about what's the data that I want to capture from Eventbrite, that I want to have on hand, or that I want to back up, or whatever the case may be. So when I come back over to set up this particular automation, I've already got that spreadsheet set up. I want to choose the event that I want to connect that to. So here I'm saying I've got this event set up in Eventbrite. This particular one is one that I actually set up for the session today. So we're saying, this webinar I could easily power through Eventbrite. And so anytime anyone registers for this particular event, that is what's going to trigger the data over into my spreadsheet. So I've got the event selected. And then in step 5 here, I just need to match all that data up to my spreadsheet. So I've got my spreadsheet here, which I've actually just selected from this dropdown. And I've got the worksheet. Now, 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna have one worksheet on your brand new spreadsheet, but you may have more, so you can point that data to the right worksheet within your spreadsheet. And then from there, I just need to click on Insert Fields, and that's actually going to bring over all of the data we can get from Eventbrite and allow you to match that up with those columns in your spreadsheet. So since I've gone really simple here, I'm just looking for an email address and a name. You can do this in one of 2 ways. So you can scroll through, you can see all this really, really great data that we're able to pull over from Eventbrite. But if you're in a hurry and just want to do something really quickly, you can actually even search for this. So I've searched for that. I've got the email address, and that's all I need to do. So I've matched the email address up with the field, or the column, I guess I should say, in my spreadsheet. And I've got a name here. And once I've done that, I can actually quickly test this to make absolutely sure that the data coming over from Eventbrite is exactly what I want to go into my spreadsheet. And I can see that here, and I can even test it really quickly, and you'll see how this automatically, by the time I even could get over to the other tab, has automatically put Wade in my spreadsheet. So that's the latest attendee, his name, his email address, and anytime someone does that, it's automatically going to populate your spreadsheet. So you see that took just a couple of minutes to get set up, and once that's done, you never have to worry about it again. It's just automatically going to run in the background. You can go out and deal with all of the other bits of your event that you need to and let this automation run, and as those registrations come in, they're automatically going to go to your spreadsheet. And Mike, the next really cool thing that I want to talk about is using Eventbrite to connect to any sort of contact relationship management tool you might be using, or CRM as people might be familiar with. And I know there's some really, really cool, maybe not yet thought of use cases that you guys see on how people are connecting events to like further their relationship management after that event might be over.
Yeah, definitely. And integrations with different CRM softwares or platforms are actually one of the most common questions and use cases we see, or questions we get from organizers. Like, I want to connect to this CRM, such and such CRM. More and more people and organizations are using CRM software today. It used to be just like small businesses and enterprises use CRM, but that's definitely not the case anymore. Nonprofits are using them. We're seeing music venues, marathons, all using some type of CRM software to keep track of their customers, their members, their volunteers, their constituents, whatever you want to call them. They're using the CRM as like their central hub, and they want to be able to connect a lot of different applications and services to it, with events, being one of them. Live events have become extremely important as a marketing tool, as a promotional tool, for all these different types of organizers. So they really want to take advantage to really stand out by holding events. The problem is, or the difficulty is tracking between what happens at a live event and then getting all that information back into your CRM platform. We actually have large organizers who have set aside time for interns within their organization who spend just hours actually importing data from their event registration platform, from Eventbrite, into their CRM. Well, that is something we definitely want to help them fix, because people should not be spending hours of their day just importing data into their CRM. And that's why this integration is so exciting. And really the reason why you like if you're a small business and why events are so important is because they can really differentiate you from your competition. Just one example is a real estate and technology firm actually holds weekly or monthly classes on home buying. And this is a great tool for them to find new leads for their business. Events are a great way to strike up a face-to-face connection with the first time. And then once you have that face-to-face connection, it's a lot easier to build a relationship with those people, and then do a lot of the other promotional things through your CRM. You know, whether it's like your email marketing, you know, hosting webinars. But if you start off and have that face-to-face connection, you'll see that a lot of your other channels are going to be a lot more successful because you've built more of an emotional connection with your members, with your customers. So we see a lot of our organizers using events as a place to get people into their kind of their sales cycle or whatever it may be, and then following up with a lot more other campaigns that they can do through their CRM. So having a way to automate, you know, when someone comes to your event, instantly adding them to your CRM platform, whether that's as a contact or a lead or just as a member, is really important and can help you save a lot of time, and then help keep track of, you know, all the other things you're doing with those people. So you build up that and strengthen that relationship.
Well, I hate to take jobs away from the interns of the world, but you know, if you have someone on your staff, or maybe even you, who is spending all this time manually inputting that information, these automations will actually just totally eliminate this particular, you know, maybe even a whole job or a whole internship, or you can shift those resources off into doing something else, which is what we really hope people can do. I've done some work with nonprofits in the past where we've been able to take complete, you know, jobs off of someone's plate and actually utilize that person in a different way just by setting up some automations. And I think this is a perfect example. So if you're doing those things that Mike is talking about here, with this one particular automation, you can totally eliminate that. And I'm sure we have all done manual work in the past that we wish we never had to touch again. And all of these automations, we call these zaps. So the zap is this one-to-one connection here. So we're saying, you know, the connection between Eventbrite and our CRM, which we're looking at Infusionsoft here is just one example. So when we set these zap ups, they all work the same. So it'll be exactly like the Google Sheets example we just looked at. But instead of, you know, going to a spreadsheet, we're actually going to create a contact in our CRM from attendees. And this is going to happen automatically as they come in. So again, we're saying any new attendee that we get in Eventbrite, we're going to automatically create a contact in our CRM, which is Infusionsoft here. And if I skip down a couple of steps, steps 2 and 3, as you go through these automations, are just connecting your accounts. So we've got to connect your Eventbrite account and connect your CRM account to Zapier so we can access that data and kind of move it around for you. And then step 4, again, is exactly the same. Just need to know which event we're looking at. And, you know, even if you're throwing multiple events, you know, we know that you probably want to focus on 1 or 2 and get the right information over into the right space. So you always want to choose that event. But we also have some new updates coming soon, like literally within the next probably 24 to 48 hours. We're just working through some of the kinks here where you'll actually be able to set up these automations to look at all of the events. So maybe you're doing a little more general work and you want to just look at all of your events at once. So you should be able to do that really, really soon in the future. Or again, you can just pin it down to one specific event. So when you get an attendee in this one specific event, that action will happen in the other app that you're using. So for the CRMs, it's very, very simple. Just like with our Google Sheets, we're going to click on Insert Fields here, see all the information coming over from Eventbrite. And at the very least, you know, when you're creating a contact, you want to get their email address. And most times it's actually required by your CRM that you have to have that email address to create that contact. And every CRM is different, so you'll get different options here. But the key takeaway is, you know, you just want to connect your email address, at least a first and a last name as well. So when we create that contact, you will automatically, you know, get that information right over to where it needs to be in your CRM. And there's a lot of other optional fields here. Again, every CRM is different, but you know, when you click on this insert fields here from Eventbrite, you can actually pull over any of that extra custom information that you might be grabbing from folks. And then anytime you have a new attendee in this event, is automatically going to create that contact in your CRM. So I imagine that this one automation, which would take you less than 5 minutes to set up, would probably save you in the long run, weeks worth of work, from whether it was, like Mike said, an intern or someone else in your office, and you can totally focus those assets and that time over onto something else, which is, is so exciting for us to be able to help everyone do that. And with CRMs, there are many, 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 many CRMs out there in the world. They're all great. They all have their own, special things that they do. So any CRM that you use, just about, you can connect to Zapier, and we can get those attendees from all of your events and Eventbrite funneling right over into your CRM and creating those contacts. The last thing that I think we're going to cover here today really quickly, Mike, is email marketing. And this is probably one of the, if the most robust marketing our way to market out there, connecting people to your email marketing platform. So I would love to hear, how you guys are seeing Eventbrite users kind of connect the dots there and use those attendees to kind of add to their email marketing platforms.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, like you were saying, email is actually still one of the the fastest and most effective ways to invite someone to your event. It's not, people tend to think, oh, email's been around for forever. It's not sexy, but really, like, our data shows it really is one of the most effective ways to invite someone. In fact, we see the ROI of email about is over $40 for every dollar invested for their events. With that said, email can be a lot more than just inviting someone to your event. And we see a lot of our organizers using email in a lot more interesting ways than just as an invitation. We've talked to a lot of people like chefs or restaurants who put up these pop-up dinners, and they are starting to create new email newsletters with their event attendees. So after the event happens, they create a monthly newsletter where they're actually, giving the attendees more news, more upcoming events, maybe talking about opening new restaurant openings. So it's not just about, email is not just about inviting people to an event. It's actually creating a community of people. People tend to think, oh, social media is all about community, but actually, when we've talked to some of our organizers, they still say, email is way more effective than, social media about creating that community. And they see a much higher conversion rate on people that are part of their newsletter than any of their other audience lists. And the great thing about all these different email platforms is they give you a way to actually segment your audiences. So if you're hosting a lot of different types of events, maybe you're putting on a lot of different shows, you can categorize your different types of music lovers. Like maybe you have your electronic music people, you have your rock people, you have your country people. You can segment these lists using email platforms, and then actually create tailored and more personalized emails. This will definitely go a long way with your attendees and help strengthen that relationship with them through email. But yeah, like any of these Zaps, you want to be able to automate the process of getting your attendees, your event attendees, into your email platform of choice. Today we're going to talk about Campaign Monitor, but there's a lot of other ones out there that our organizers use to create these ongoing newsletters. And you're going to also use email for like some logistical stuff. You're always going to want to keep your attendees informed of where the event's happening, when, any changes that might be expected. Let them know about parking, all that. Email is still the best tool out there to use. And we see it the most frequently used with our organizers.
Yeah, I guess this is another way we can apologize to the interns of the world, because this is another sort of manual task that basically can just be taken over with automation. And I'm really glad that you brought segmentation into this, Mike, because I think this is where these automations really shine, because we're able to do those segments so easy. And match them up to events and make that seamless for everyone. So again, the overarching theme here is you focus solely on your event and all the things that need to happen there, and let all of these sort of tedious and paperworky type things, let those run in the background. while you're focused on the most important thing, which is having a successful event. And this email marketing stuff is really exciting because there's so many, Mike gave you so many good reasons about why you want to do it. And when you can segment these lists out and not have to worry about it, I really love that example of even using this to keep people informed of things before the event even happens. That's such a cool idea and such an easy thing to do. So just like all the other automations we have been looking at today, we're basically saying we've got this one-to-one connection between Eventbrite and Campaign Monitor. And so when I get a new attendee, I actually want to add a subscriber to a particular Campaign Monitor list. And I can do that very, very easily by, again, just saying, when I want to look at this one specific event, this is my main event that I want to look at. And so when anyone registers for this event, or I have a new attendee, I can segment that down to a specific list in Campaign Monitor. And you can do this with any other email marketing platform that Zapier connects to. They all work slightly different, but the common theme is the same. So we're basically saying, anytime anyone registers for this event, I want to add them to a specific list. And you can use that list to do all of those different things Mike talked about, from sending emails before the event or the day of the event, to adding them into sort of a your marketing funnel after the event happens. But they'll be segmented down in just the way you want on a specific list, so you're communicating the right things to that person. And then obviously we're grabbing the most important information, right? So we're getting the email address from their Eventbrite registration. We're getting their name, so we can populate their name. We can send them a really specific and personal email. It's on their list that you want them to be on, and you never have to worry about that again. So instead of, I can only imagine putting together an event, and then every night before that event happens, having to manually input any registrants into your email list, or any of these other things that we've looked at today. And I know that that's, running an event is hard work. And the last thing that you want to do is come home at the end of the day and have to worry about all these sort of manual, tedious tasks. So this is another great way to really sort of get that information where you want to go and not have to worry about it. And the best part about this is that, don't necessarily have to work with Campaign Monitor. Zapier works with a number of different email marketing platforms. So you can really use the email marketing platform of your choice. And, we will be able to connect to it most likely and take care of the rest for you. Now, Mike, I think it's time to talk about the most exciting thing of all, and that is the awesome way that all this stuff is actually integrated inside everyone's Eventbrite account. And I would love to for you to share a little bit of knowledge about how Eventbrite users can find this, where it lives, and kind of get the most out of it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, actually just about 2 months ago, we launched it's really essentially a whole set of new features, because for the first time ever, we've allowed partners to actually develop on the Eventbrite platform and add extensions within the Manage tab of all of your events. So if you go to any of your events today and go to the Manage tab, if you scroll all the way down on the left-hand side under the event dashboard, you'll see a new menu screen for extensions there. And these are all extensions built by partners. And Zapier was one of our launching partners, and they built the Export Attendees extension. All the extensions we went over today were about exporting attendees. This is the #1 thing we hear from organizers that they need to do. They want to be able to get their attendee data into other applications and services. So if you go to that extension, you can click on it. We've already installed it for this account, but if you haven't installed Zapier with Eventbrite, you'll be taken through the same process for any of our extensions, where you'll allow Zapier and Eventbrite to basically talk to one another. And then you'll see a list of all these different zaps that you can now use with your event. And once you add it to one of your events, you'll have access to this on all of your events. So you can see you have the Google Spreadsheets that example we went over today, the Infusionsoft example we went over today, the Campaign Monitor example we went over today, as well as a whole host of other zaps that you can now take advantage of right from within your event dashboard on Eventbrite. So you can, be looking at all your order information on Eventbrite, and then pretty much from the same exact screen, go to your Zapier extension and use one of these apps, which will then take you off to Zapier, where you can set it up, or change it if you've already set it up. So really easy way to start using this extension, as well as all of our other extensions we have with partners, right down there at the bottom left-hand side of the Manage tab of all your events. And we're going to continue to add more extensions, working with new partners to get more up there. But these are the ones that we have available today.
And this is just the start. So if you don't see exactly what you're looking for here, maybe you use an app that's not, you don't see here, all you need to do is just come over to Zapier, and in fact, it looks like there's even a link for you to do that, and you can set up just about anything. We just crossed the 450 app threshold, so if you don't see your app here, there's chances are that we have integrated with it. This is just some of the more popular use cases we see people use. So we wanted to make it really easy to get so people kind of see examples and get going. But if you use something, maybe a smaller app or something that is really specific, for example, Clio is a great app that lawyers use. So there's a lot of different smaller apps out there for specific use cases. So again, if you don't see this here, you can just come on over to Zapier, and we'll be able to help out there. One final thing, this always gets real big on me, but this is my contact information. My email address, my Twitter handle, contact@zapier.com actually goes to our entire team. So any questions you have anytime, you can email me, you can email all of us, whatever you need to do. We'll be more than happy to talk through this stuff. Event stuff is fun to talk about because there's so many cool things that we see people doing and events that they're holding, and so it's always great to talk with anyone, and we're happy to chat through workflows or maybe just help you come up with a couple of ideas should you need to do that. And Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can email me for sure at mschiff, SCHIFF at eventbrite.com, and then also on Twitter at MWSchiff, SCHIFF. So you feel free to email me at any time. We also have a 24/7 support team here at Eventbrite. So you can pick up the phone at any time and get on the phone with someone to talk about Eventbrite. We have a whole bunch of help center content that really gets into the nitty-gritty details of how to use Eventbrite. And then also, if you're looking for more best practices types of material on maybe use cases or success stories of other event organizers, we have the Eventbrite Event Academy, where you can go and see white papers, webinars, just a lot of more in-depth kind of almost thought leadership type content to give you more ideas on how to really improve or enhance your events, and see what other leaders in the event industry are doing. So a whole lot of different places you can go today to really find a lot more information.
That's awesome. Well, I think we've kind of busted through our half-hour time. So just want to thank you so much, Mike, for joining us. I think you shared some really incredible information that I can't wait to not only share with the folks today, but we'll have this up for a long time. So you can come back to this page anytime you want. This video will be here. There's zaps on the page. There's automations you can already use. We'll get some other resources on that page. So anytime you want to come back and view things, you can. So feel free to do that anytime. So thanks, Mike, for joining us today. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Allison, for having me, and thanks everyone for tuning in, or if you're watching this later on, thanks for watching, and definitely reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah, same here, and thanks to everyone again, and anything you need, contact us at any time, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye, everyone.